Welcome to the #1 spot health and wellness practitioners go to double their current income and turn their 10-hour work day into a 10-hour work week. Join us as we dive into the tips, tools, and tech you need to create a life and practice on your own terms. More freedom, flexibility, fulfillment, and of course, funds. It's time to build your online practice. And I'm your host, Michelle Rogers, also known as the WELLthy Woman. Be sure to subscribe for your weekly dose of education, inspiration, and action. Let's get started. I just want to start off by really recognizing you and honoring you that if you're here, if you're attending this summit, then you are meant for more and you know it, right? Like there's something inside of you that is seeking something else. Like you're seeking another way, another perspective, new opportunities, more possibility, right? So most of the practitioners that I speak with deeply crave the same thing. They want more freedom, more flexibility, and more fulfillment. They want a practice that provides security, stability, consistency, and safety while also feeling super passionate and excited about what they're doing, right? Who of you have lost that, who've lost the spark, who are questioning oh my gosh, what should I still be doing this? This is not what I signed up for, right? So to reconnect with your why did you start this journey to begin with? To reconnect with your purpose and your passion, right? Troy says absolutely, right? Right. So if this resonates with you, let me know. Is that where you're at? Are you just I want freedom, I want flexibility, I want fulfillment? You know that where you're at right now is not where you want to be, right? You want something different. And maybe you're not totally clear on what that looks like or how to get there yet, but you just know whatever you're doing right now is not what you want to be doing, 5, 10 years, 20 years down the line. Yeah, all of this, that's me. That's where I'm at. Yes, I have full body chills right now. I see you. I've been there. I get it. So thank you. Thank you for your honesty. Yeah, it's a big thing. So I want to give you a little bit of my story for those of you who don't know me. So I went to Bastyr. I graduated in 2012 and with my naturopathic degree and also a master's of acupuncture and oriental medicine. So I graduated and during that whole time I had my own health struggles. I had ovarian cyst ruptures. I had cervical dysplasia. I had I was diagnosed with PCOS. I had Hashimoto's. I had all of this stuff. And of course, those of you who've been through any type of medical schooling, it's a pretty grueling process, right? It's not really a place for healing. The schooling itself, it's pretty rigorous. And I was doing what they call the triple track because I was doing the ND plus acupuncture plus Chinese herbs. And so, but I will also say that it was during that journey, during that struggle, that I really became embodied in the approach and the health care that we're able to provide. And it really solidified my confidence in the work that we do and the root cause approach and the holistic, truly holistic approach to the care that we can give. So, and I know a lot of practitioners who've gone through their own, health struggles over the years. Some of us, had those struggles that actually brought us into these fields, right? So anywho, I graduated from Bastyr and I was a primary care provider in Portland, Oregon for about 4 years doing the whole insurance paradigm thing. I had actually been accepted to residency in San Francisco, which was a residency that I had worked my ass off for years. I did my preceptorships there. I spent so many hours in communication with them all the time, promised to them that I was going to be ready for residency and got the residency that I worked so hard for. But it was at that time, I don't know what it was, call it my intuition, whatever. It wasn't right for me anymore. And I took a really big risk to deny the residency. And so instead I went into, I found she was kind of a mentor to me, but I joined a practice worked under a woman, ended up doing primary care insurance paradigm for 4 years, feeling super, super burnt out. Like I ended up purchasing this woman's practice, had over 200 patients, was working 4 days a week, 8+ hour days, making six figures. I had reached the level of success that I was told was success, but I was burnt out. I was depleted. I was unhappy. Not only unhappy, I was depressed. I couldn't imagine doing that for 2 more years, let alone 20. And I was like sitting there just like, what? Like, this isn't what I signed up for. Like, what? I'm successful, but I'm miserable, like literally miserable. Right. And so there was just like this total disconnect. So there was a progression that started to happen where I started de-paneling from all the insurance companies, which was a process. And I opened up private practice in Washington, just right over the river in Vancouver, Washington. Did private practice for a couple years, focusing on autoimmunity and women's health. And it was a little bit better, but it still wasn't quite what I wanted. And so I did a lot of like soul searching, did a lot of like questioning of what it was that I did want. And I just decided that I wanted to be in the online space. And so I don't recommend doing this to anybody, but I literally like referred all my patients out and just like left and like went into the online space. And it was hard. It was really, really, really hard because that was over 5 years ago. There was, I don't know, barely anybody in the health and wellness industry in the online space. I got so much kickback, like, or whatever you want to call it, like criticism from people in my field, naturopathic, colleagues of just like, you can't do that. Like, what are you doing? Like all of this. And so I was, whatever. I like thank myself, like pat myself on the back for like sticking with it. But I was confused. I was lacking focus. I didn't know where to put my time and energy, right? I'm like in this abyss of the online space, like, okay, this is like, I think this is what I want, but what are my next steps? Right. So I started soaking up all the podcasts, all the freebies, all the online courses, right? Anybody else doing this? Like everything that I could find, but nothing was specifically geared towards health and wellness practitioners, right? It was all like general business stuff. And so I struggled to find clients. I struggled to find my voice. I struggled to find my confidence, right? And like all the while nursing my own burnout from running myself into the ground, right? With a brick and mortar. Not to mention all of the looming school debt, right? That was growing by the minute. If those of you who know, is this relating, like resonating? You feel this? Annette says yes, and I know I must climb a mountain to create change, but I'm afraid of wasting my energy climbing the wrong mountain. Yeah, totally, right? So it's really, really helpful to find people who can guide you, people who are in the place where you want to be or close to the place where you want to be. Yeah, Troy says yes. Shabana, hey, Shabana says yes. Carrie says completely resonating. Yeah. Amazing. So needless to say, yes, some similar but different field. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it doesn't have to be like naturopathic medicine or acupuncture or whatever, but it's like this position of just being in that position. But so I burned through like tens of thousands of dollars worth of business loans with functional medicine focused mentors who made empty promises. And I was left feeling super disappointed, disheartened, and pretty depressed. But I ended up taking one final risk to hire a mentor who I really, really resonated with. Like I trusted her, like I spoke with her, like I just felt like she was the one for me. And within 6 months of focus, determination, strategy, I was able to blast past my first 6-figure mark, like in my online practice. And so that just blew my mind because I was only seeing clients for a fraction of the time I'd been seeing them in the past. So the realm of what I previously thought was possible just like was obliterated, right? Like it was blasted wide open and I knew there was no going back. And to this day, like I'm just beyond grateful that I took that risk and made it happen because who knows where I would be at this point, right? Like people talk about like the cost of inaction or like what would life be like if you didn't make change, if you stayed in that situation. Like I literally can't even imagine what my life would be like if I was, if I just stayed stagnant, right? So my purpose and passion, like at this point, right, when things just like opened up and I was like, wait, what? This can actually happen. Like, this is a thing. Is this actually happening? Right. Like, my purpose and passion was immediately reignited, not just because I was finally making money. Of course, that helps. Right. But because I realized that it was possible to serve my clients from a state of overflow instead of giving them the last few fumes that I had left. Right. So within that 6 months, I started enrolling the dreamiest clients, getting paid more than I ever had, and getting the most profound client results that I'd ever witnessed in my own practice. So I'm not telling you this to brag, right? That's not what this is about. But my goal is to really give you an idea of what's possible. Like that's really my goal because like I said at the very beginning of this summit, like my goal is to just like obliterate ceilings, walls, limiting beliefs that you might have about making this shift because it's so worth it. I can't even express, right? So what I really, really want is to hopefully give you a little spark of hope that you can actually create the life and practice that you want. And a big, big part of that is becoming a magnetic practitioner, which is what I want to talk to you about today. YES. Yes. Gary says, I'm still at the beginning stages, but wanted this for so long. And there's no going back. There is no going back, right? Trying to figure this out, feeling really burnt out, paid off your college debt, but now I have debt from training to be a solo practitioner. Oof, yeah, yeah. And I would say like I've done a lot of like my own a lot of money mindset stuff, but also just like financial literacy work. And like business debt is actually like, that's good debt. It's normal to have business debt. It's the personal debt that is not so great. So yeah, that won't be a topic we talk about today. But if you guys got the upgrade, like the VIP buyout bundle, there's two phenomenal women who talk about finances, both like financial literacy and the energetics of money, which is like really, really, really cool. And so I'm curious who your first mentor was in this journey. It's wonderful to recognize those who have opened doors for us within and in our practice. So it definitely wasn't my first mentor. So I don't want to speak poorly of the first couple mentors that I had. So I'm not going to name their names. But a mentor that was really key in my progression back in 2018 was Rachel Bell. And she actually became a private client of mine, which was phenomenal. So yeah, exactly. That was her, Rachel Bell. She's phenomenal. And we're friends now. So that's like the cool thing about being an online practitioner too. All right, so let's dive in. So now a lot of practitioners have this super secret hope, right? That they're going to open the doors of their virtual practice and they'll immediately have people ready to pay top dollar for their services because of their credentials or years of experience. So these are great assets, right? But unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for some of you, it's not enough to attract high caliber clients to your virtual practice. And now when I say high caliber clients, I'm not talking about just clients who can pay top dollar for comprehensive care. You know, that might be a part of it, depending on your business model. There's a lot of nuance there. But I'm talking about clients who have a commitment to personal growth. Clients who are open-minded and willing to learn. Clients who value accountability and responsibility. Clients who are proactive and engaged, those who are willing and even excited to make lifestyle changes or upgrades, those who value trust, respect, and integrity, right? When you have high caliber clients, they are proactive in scheduling and managing their appointments, right? They promptly take care of payments without requiring reminders or follow-ups or chasing them down. right? Their communication is concise and focused, providing essential information without overwhelming messages about minor issues, right? And you, as the practitioner, you get to look forward to your day and every single appointment on your calendar, right? Does that sound good? Does that sound like an awesome thing? Do we all want high caliber clients, right? Brian says, luckily, this is my first mentor type experience. It has been amazing and filled with topics that I needed and didn't know yet. Oh, you are so welcome, Brian. Thank you so much for that reflection. Yes. Carrie says, absolutely. Yeah. High caliber clients are where it's at. Like these are the dream clients, right? So anybody else? Is that resonating? Do you want high caliber clients? What does that look like? Right? So many of us have not experienced that, right? Like imagine like the tension and the stress and just like waking up and not looking at your calendar and being like, oh no, that person's coming in today. We've all been there, right? Like no shame. Like there's just certain clients that we resonate really well with. And there's other clients where it just feels like not awesome, right? So how do we attract these types of people? You know, from my experience and mentoring close to 100 practitioners at this point, which is also mind-blowing, it really comes down to what is called the soft skills. Okay, so we need to cultivate the right mindset and energetics to truly become a magnetic practitioner for high caliber clients. So this essentially means building trust, which is why I've been like dropping these little things throughout the day. If you've noticed, I'm like, trust, trust, right? That is like one of the biggest pieces. So what builds trust? Now it actually starts with the inner work. Okay. And it says, yes, we have to also be what we want to attract. You get it, Annette. Exactly. It starts with the inner work. High caliber clients want to work with practitioners who are confident, authentic, and passionate about what they do. But what are most practitioners coming off as? Really? Insecure, people-pleasing, and uninspired. Desperate. You're right. Right? Like this is what I see a lot of. I was there. I was one of these practitioners. That's why I know it so intimately, right? So if this is you, you don't have to tell me. If you want to share in the comments, like you're in good company here. This is a safe space. Like you can definitely say like, yeah, that's me. But you don't have to. But if you are there, if you feel like that, if you're like, oh damn, like I just got called out. Just know that I've been there and I see you and that it doesn't always have to be this way. Okay. So how do we start cultivating the confidence, the authenticity, the passion, especially when we're heading into the like ruthless world of the online space, right? Where everyone can see you and hear you and cancel you and judge you and call you out, right? I'm like joking and not joking, right? It can feel super vulnerable to put ourselves out there, right? We talked a little bit about this with Kim today. So my intention isn't to like emphasize the fears, but to simply let you know that it's okay to have those fears. And my goal is to help you overcome them so you can be the beacon of light that your dream clients are actively searching for, right? When we don't show up, we are hurting ourselves and the people who are desperately seeking our help. And like Jacqueline was saying, people are actively seeking out our help, right? So we need to step up and meet them so that they can find us, right? And it says, do you help practitioners create group coaching, one-on-one coaching? Both. I do. Yeah. Great question. Yeah, Marcel, thank you so much for networking. So good. I saw a bunch of you join the Facebook group, so that's fun. You guys can definitely like collaborate inside of that group, post, get feedback, ask questions, whatever it is. I'm in there all the time. And it says, do you have a preference or does it depend on what the practitioner is suited for? That is like another topic. I'll try to remind me if I forget, Annette, but we can circle back towards the end of this and I'll give you a little bit more insight into my perspective on that for sure. All right, so back to building trust, because trust is all that's needed to have a client enroll in your program, whether it's $100 or $10,000 or more. Trust. So first off, we need to choose to take radical responsibility of our life, owning our choices and actions and accepting that we are in control of our outcomes, right? Because some of you who already know me or have worked with me, you know that I love to blend the work and the woo, right? The energetics. The reality is that the energetics we emit attract and repel people, right? It's just a fact. We are energetic humans. We're biomagnetic beings, right? And we can feel it, right? So, we think about any old interaction with someone, right? Like if you're at a gathering, there are some people that you have this instant resonance with and others that you just don't vibe with, right? Some people, it's super easy to have a conversation. You feel like they get it. While other people, it feels like this constant upward, like tumble, like whatever, like it just feels terrible. It just feels terrible. And like your system kind of closes down and like shuts down and you're just like, ugh. Whereas when you're interacting with someone where the vibe feels really good, there's this openness, this expansion, this connection that happens. Okay. Please tell me I'm not speaking like total insanity. Does this make sense? Okay. Thank you. Yes. Fantastic. We've all felt it, right? We don't get along with every single person. I mean, I don't know anybody who gets along with every single person. But assuming we're on the same page here, let's get back to radical responsibility, because again, we are in control of our choices and actions. And if we're not bringing in or attracting the types of clients that we want to be working with, then we need to really point the finger inwards. Right? Now, some of this may seem like old news to you, but I really do encourage you to listen with new ears, witness with new eyes, and simply be open to a small spark that may just be what you need to ignite the rest of your path. So to really embody radical responsibility, number one, self-reflection. So taking time to reflect on your values, your passions, your strengths, understand what truly drives you and brings you joy in your work. So for me, I value freedom in all ways, right? Like I'm passionate about empowering practitioners so they can empower people. My strengths are in taking complex subjects and making them actionable and easier to understand, right? Those are just like real quick things. Number two, embrace your uniqueness. So recognize and celebrate your unique qualities, experiences, perspectives, embrace what sets you apart from others and use it to your advantage. So like for me, I'm really good at identifying patterns and trends. So functional labs come really easy to me. It's something I've been doing now for over a decade. And it's really the one thing that I used to set myself apart or, set myself, like positioning an authority in the online space. Okay. I also have experience as a primary care provider in the insurance paradigm. So I can relate to a lot of practitioners who are struggling in a similar position. I also have alternative views when it comes to the world, politics, what's been unfolding over the past few years. Like I haven't been shy about it. So I magnetize practitioners who have comparable views. Right. And when in my world, my practitioners are my clients, right? Those are my dream clients, my perfect fit clients. Okay. So number three, continuous learning and growth. So invest in your professional development and stay up to date with the latest research and trends in your field, right? This will ensure and increase your knowledge and expertise, boosting your confidence. This one is huge. I'm a self-proclaimed lifelong learner, which is why I'm always updating and sharing my new knowledge with practitioners in my space. I always have at least one or two mentors or coaches that I'm working with at any given time, right? For myself, for my own personal growth and development or business development, right? Number four, authentic communication. Be open, honest, and transparent in our interactions with clients and colleagues, but also friends and family, right? Sharing your genuine thoughts, feelings, and experience and listening actively to others, okay? Expressing ourselves from a heart-centered place is really powerful and people can feel whether or not you're being genuine, okay? It's not a conscious thought, but it's actually like a visceral feeling that people get. Right? You've probably felt it. You can tell when you're speaking with someone whether or not they're embodied in what they're saying or if they're just kind of flying by the seat of their pants, right? Making something up, regurgitating something that someone taught them. right? You can feel when someone's like actually embodied in what they're saying. Number 5, embody your values. So align your actions with your values. Let your values guide your decisions, your behaviors, and the way you conduct your practice. This consistency is going to help you build authenticity and trust, right? When you've identified your values, making decisions becomes a lot easier. The only question you really need to have is, does this align with my values? If not, it's a no-go, right? Like that's a hard stop boundary. It's not aligned with my values. So that's a no. That makes that decision very easy. And if it's a yes, then maybe there's likely more consideration, right? Are you feeling that? So number 6, step out of your comfort zone. Challenge yourself to take on new opportunities, even if they feel uncomfortable or intimidating. Okay, by pushing your boundaries, you'll build confidence and discover new passions. So anytime we're doing something new, we're stepping outside of our comfort zone. But the more that we do it, the more that we can associate the sensation to growth and expansion and our next level, instead of what it typically feels like, which is like, I'm about to die, right? Like our nervous system is programmed to tell us that we're about to die when we step out of our comfort zone. So the more that we like exercise that as a muscle, this goes for like the video content we were talking about earlier today. It's like, just keep practicing it, right? And same goes with like giving yourself new challenges and opportunities. It's like, oh yeah, this is that same sensation. I'm just like growing beyond my comfort zone, right? And then that like growth beyond your comfort zone, that becomes your new comfort zone, right? Number 7, seek support and feedback. Surround yourself with a supportive network of mentors, colleagues, a mastermind group. Seek feedback to identify areas of improvement and receive guidance on your journey, right? However, the important thing here is to only seek support and feedback from people who actually get it and or who've already achieved what you want to achieve. This piece is huge, right? Because there's so many people in our life, especially as we start to do something that's kind of against the grain, like people are going to unsolicited, like people are gonna like give you unsolicited advice. That's what I wanted to say, right? People are gonna tell you their opinions, and a lot of times they're just projecting their own fears and insecurities onto you, right? And so we just have to be conscious, like, okay, do I actually take this feedback or this opinion seriously? Is this person actually doing the thing that I want to do in a place where I want to be, living the life that I want to be? Otherwise, their opinion literally doesn't matter, right? Yes. As Brene Brown says, only accept advice from those who are also in the arena with you. Exactly. Exactly. Other people's opinions literally don't matter, like at all. Number 8, practice self-care, right? But literally prioritizing self-care to maintain your energy, your well-being, your passion, engage in activities that rejuvenate you and promote balance in your personal and professional life. We all know this, and yet most of us don't actually practice it, right? We're going back to trust and integrity, right? You need to walk your talk. You need to practice what you preach, okay? Huge, huge, huge. Where can you clean this up, right? We're talking about energetics here, building trust, integrity. Number 9, celebrate your successes. Acknowledge and celebrate your achievements along the way. Recognize your growth, milestones, and the positive impact you have on others. This celebration is going to fuel your passion, but not only that, it gives us a brain dump of neurochemicals, right? That reinforce our sense of achievement, help us keep us going, right? We're getting the dopamine, the serotonin, the endorphins, the oxytocin, right? So important. Big wins and small wins, tangible wins and intangible wins, financial wins and non-financial wins. It's important, right? And it doesn't have to be some crazy celebration, right? Like, for example, I'm going to go out to dinner tonight. I don't go out to dinner that often. I'm going to go out to dinner tonight because I completed the first day of the summit. That's going to be that's an awesome thing to celebrate, right? Number 10, stay connected with your why. Remind yourself of the purpose and the meaning behind your work. Connect with the positive impact you have on your clients' lives, and let that drive your passion and authenticity. Although you might be feeling burned out right now, or exhausted, or depleted, running on fumes, however you want to put it, You started on this healing path for a reason. So reconnect with that reason and allow yourself to get excited for a new opportunity to create a practice that actually aligns with the lifestyle that you want to live, right? And not the other way around. What is the lifestyle you want to live? And then create your practice around that. Okay. Are you feeling good? All right. So now taking radical responsibility of your life. For many of you, this is going to mean that you're going to be stepping into a new era, right? A new era of who you are, how you show up, who you be, as they say. This is an updated version of who you've always been, but now feeling more aligned. Do you see how the things that we went over are like clearing out like all this chaos and muck and misalignment, right? So our personal growth and evolution are closely tied to our professional success. When we work on ourselves, we become better practitioners, better communicators, better leaders, right? Self-evolution is a journey that requires us to constantly challenge ourselves, learn new skills, and step out of our comfort zone. And this can be super scary, right? But it's really, really necessary to reach the levels of success that I know a lot of you want to achieve. Okay. Building a successful virtual practice requires us to adapt to a constantly changing landscape. This means being open to new technologies, new ways of doing things, new approaches to client care. Tomorrow, I'm diving into a talk about AI and 5 different strategies that I'm using with AI, right? I'm really excited to chat with you. It's going to be an interactive talk, so I hope you can make it. So embracing self-evolution means being willing to learn from our mistakes, be vulnerable, and seek out feedback from others. This helps us grow and improve both personally and professionally. Carrie says, I love it. It's going to be good. Finally, self-evolution requires us to have a growth mindset, right? This means seeing challenges as opportunities, embracing failure as a necessary part of growth, and believing that we can always improve and achieve more. Right? Are you seeing this? Is this starting to make sense? Right? Like, do you see how embodying radical responsibility transforms you into someone who emits the qualities of a high caliber client, the ones that you're seeking, and how it creates more trust overall? Is this making sense? Are you guys like, I totally already know this. This is old news. I don't even know why we're talking about this. Is it resonating? Do you see it? Do you feel it? Right? It's important. And I think this is like one of the key things that so many people are overlooking and not addressing. They're just like, give me the strategy. Give me the strategy so I can make 10K per month. Just give me the strategy and tell me the magic thing, right? That's such a conventional way of looking at building your virtual practice, building the life that you really want to create. It's reductionistic, right? It's like, take the pill for the ill. Give me the strategy for the 10K month. You got to do the work. Treat the root cause, right? Yes, right up my alley. This is super refreshing to hear. This work, I have full body chills right now. Like, this work is essential to your success. Thank you, Shavana. I love you too. Troy says, I would love to share this with my significant other. Can't wait till it's on the recorded section. Thank you. I'm excited for you to share with her too. So good. All right. Oh, that feels good. Thank you. Thank you all. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being open to this, right? Being open to this message. Really, really appreciate it. Now, as we take on this lifestyle of radical responsibility, it's really, really common to have some fears come up, right? You all know this, but anytime, again, we step out of our comfort zone, our nervous system immediately tries to tell us that we're literally about to die. That's its job. So thank you. You can thank your primal response mechanism and let it know that you're fine and keep moving forward. Right? Some common fears that practitioners have include fear of failure, fear of rejection, and fear of not being good enough. These are really, really big ones. Priya says, thank you. Need this reminder. Yeah. Who feels like fears kind of creeping in when we talk about this stuff, or when you like imagine, you know, starting to embody this or starting to clean some of this energy up? Like, do you feel any kind of like constriction or like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can say that. I don't know if I can, right? It's like that sensation, right? You're welcome to share if you want. Again, you're in good company here. Definitely fear of not being enough. Yeah. Huge. I see practitioners all the time like, oh, well, now I need to get this certification and this certification out and this, like, you think that all these added letters are going to somehow validate you, right? But you're just seeking that external validation. Yeah, that'd be me. Absolutely. More than I want to admit. Yeah. Yes, constriction, but there really isn't any other good, healthy path to go towards. There is, and that you get to create it. You get to have that growth mindset, right? And know that there's opportunities out there. Absolutely. You can take baby steps. I used to, when I was in private practice regularly, it was like, it doesn't matter how big the steps are that you're taking, as long as you're taking steps in the right direction. Like, I literally don't care how small those steps are. Right. So good. Yeah. Fear of failure, leaving success in brick and mortar to the unknown, right? The brick and mortar a lot of times creates this pseudo safety, like this false sense of safety, right? And it's like, that is the stagnation. That is like, well, I'm just going to settle for this, right? If you think about your brick and mortar as a toxic relationship, I mean, just taking it to the extreme, right? Like, that's like someone who's just like, well, I mean, he's nice to me sometimes, so, you know, I should just kind of like stick it out and just kind of like see what happens, right? Instead of being like, no, like, I'm creating a boundary, right? And I'm moving towards something that's actually fulfilling, something that actually like provides the freedom and flexibility that I truly desire, right? Because you're not going to be on your deathbed and be like, man, I'm so glad I stuck in that brick and mortar all these years, right? Yeah, meaning I've got to go through the fear. Yes. Go forward into the unknown. Yes, exactly, Annette. Exactly. Joanna says it is a toxic relationship. Yeah, seriously, right? Absolutely. Also, our significant others play a huge part in this as well. You're so right. So right. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Oh, thank you for all the honesty and just the vulnerability. I love this stuff. It's like, you can see, right? You can see, you guys, like, you're not alone. Like, we're all on this same path together, right? It's totally normal to feel this stuff. Yeah. You're in good company. So again, it's really important to acknowledge the fears, right? We're not like denying them, ignoring them, like shoving them down somewhere else. It's like, hey, like, thank you for being here. I know that fear is serving me, right? And has served me in the past. And now I can create awareness, right? Having that conscious awareness of that fear and being like, thank you for serving me. And I'm choosing a different path, right? So, what do I want to say? So yeah, acknowledging the fears, at the same time, not letting them hold us back from our potential to really create the life with freedom, flexibility, and fulfillment, right? So I quickly do want to address these fears too. Troy says, desire that there's more, yes, but lost on all the steps to get there. Excited that mentors like yourself are truthful and willing to teach others. Thank you. This is literally my purpose and my passion. Like, I joke around with people and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I was a practitioner, like working with private clients for a decade, just so that I had like the positioning and authority to be able to work with practitioners, right? Because you guys wouldn't be listening to me if I was like, I don't know, someone who didn't have experience, right? Like, but I do. I've been there. I've been in the trenches. But like, now that I'm here, now that I'm working with practitioners, I'm like, oh, this is my calling. Like, my purpose and passion is to work with practitioners. Like, yes. Oh, yes. Oh my God. It's his favorite sleeping position. It's like total, like, I don't even know. It's so hilarious. I love that you saw that. I have so many pictures of him doing that. It's so funny. All right, so let's dive into the fears for a moment and try to reframe them. I hope this is helpful for you. So Fear of failure. So embrace failure as a stepping stone to success. Failure is not a reflection of your worth or your competence, right? Instead of fearing failure, view it as an opportunity for growth and learning. Embrace the lessons it offers and use them to refine your approach and improve your skills. Remember, every successful practitioner has faced failures along their journey. Right. And I mean, thinking even about the simplest example of learning to walk, how many times did we freaking fall to learn how to walk, to learn how to walk properly? Right. Do you consider the falling like an actual failure? Like, oh, that kid totally failed at walking. Like, no, that kid's learning. Right. So if we reframe that, like, I think it really, really helps. Right. And that's as I keep reminding myself, everyone celebrates a baby crawling and falling along the way. Exactly. Exactly. Like, just remember that. Remember that. Fear of rejection. So shift your perspective on rejection. Rejection is not a personal reflection, but rather a redirection, right? Understand that not every client or opportunity might be the right fit for you. Embrace rejection as a chance to refine your niche and attract clients who align with your expertise and values. Each rejection brings you closer to the right clients who truly appreciate your unique offerings, right? Fear of not being enough. Focus on your unique value and expertise. Recognize and celebrate your skills, your knowledge, your experience as a practitioner. Remind yourself of the positive impact you have on the lives of your clients. Cultivate a sense of self-worth and confidence in your abilities. Trust that you're providing valuable services that can transform the health and the lives and the well-being of others, right? I always tell practitioners, it's like you literally have the ability to not only help people transform their lives, but to save people's lives. Like, this is real. Like, this is life-changing, life-saving, life-transforming. You guys have so much skill, right? It's there. You don't need to keep getting that external validation of like, I need more letters. I need this. I need this. I need this, right? You have it. The knowledge you have already has the ability to transform lives. Plus, there are 2 additional pieces of advice that I can't stress enough. And these have been major contributors to my success over the years and still to this day. Continuously invest in personal development and professional development. Commit to lifelong learning and growth. This is huge. Expand your clinical knowledge as a practitioner and your business knowledge as an entrepreneur. I don't know about you guys, but my business education at Bestier was laughable. Laughable. Like, we are not trained. It is not our specialty to be business owners. It was a skill that I had to learn very fast and in a very challenging way. But yeah, it's a skill that's absolutely essential if you want to reach the level of success, flexibility, freedom, fulfillment, right? Like, you need those skills. Okay. The more wisely you invest in yourself, the more confident and capable you will become, alleviating the fear of not being good enough. Right? Surround yourself with a supportive network. I love how Marcel's been like, hey guys, like, let's network, like, let's do this. Like, seriously, build or join an established community of like-minded practitioners who understand and can relate to your fears and challenges, right? We have the BIOP Facebook group. You guys can join. I would love to see you in there. I go live 3 times a month. I'm posting in there, answering questions. Like, it's an awesome free group. So join it. There's no reason not to, right? Engage in masterminds, join professional groups, seek mentorship from experienced practitioners. Having a support team is going to provide encouragement, guidance, and reassurance during moments of self-doubt, because believe me, it will happen, right? Being a small business owner, being a practice owner, being in an online space, being an entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it, it's not just like, oh, I'm just going along. Everything's beautiful all the time. No, it is a roller coaster. And so when you have people in your life who get it, who understand, who can support you through the peaks and the troughs, it's invaluable. Invaluable. Okay. So now you have the tools to take the risk and embody radical responsibility, right? Because risks always come with costs, right? There's a cost of action and there's a cost of inaction. The question is, which one is actually going to honor yourself, right? So taking risks is essential for growth and success. If we stay in our comfort zones, we'll never experience the full potential of what we can achieve. Fear can hold us back from taking risks and trying new things. It's important to acknowledge our fears, but not let them control us, right? We can take small steps outside of our comfort zone to build confidence and overcome the fears. In order to attract high caliber clients, we need to show up as our best selves. This may mean taking risks like investing in ourselves, speaking up for what we believe in, or trying new strategies in the online space. When we honor ourselves by taking risks and stepping out of our comfort zone, we're setting an example for our clients too, right? And the people in our lives, maybe even our kids, right? Are you actually working towards your dreams, right? Or are you going to settle? We're showing these people in our lives that we believe in ourselves and our abilities. And they will actually be more likely to trust and follow us as a result. So, are you willing to take the risk if freedom, flexibility, and fulfillment are waiting on the other side? Like, seriously, though, is it worth it? Is freedom, flexibility, and fulfillment worth it to you to take a risk, right? Tell me in the comments. I'm curious. I know it was worth it for me, for sure. I'm going to pop in here while I say, your engagement in the group is noticed and appreciated. Aw, it's apparent that you make time for us and truly want to help us be successful. Aw, thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that reflection. I love that. Yeah. And it says, at some point, would you explain the differences between Dr. Weatherby's training credential and Reed Davis's training FDN, which costs $8K? I don't need to know this today. Okay, sure. Gary, yes. Sandy, yes. Susan, definitely worth it. Yes, of course, right? Of course, of course, of course. And if you knew that you could make it happen, like you would totally, totally make the jump, right? Now that my vision has been expanded, there's no going back. Worth it. Totally, right? Like, wait, what? How did I not know this sooner? Like, seriously, there's a part of me that's almost like full of rage that no one even told me that it was possible to go out on my own after naturopathic school. Like, I was told you have to go to residency or be an associate, or like there was just like three options. And I was like, or even that I had to be a primary care provider. Like when I realized after 4 years that I didn't have to do annual exams, I was like, what? What have I been doing? Like, why? Right? But there was no one there setting an example. No one expanding my mind, my consciousness, my vision of what was possible. Right? So, all right. So as we come to end our time together today, I just want to emphasize the importance of taking actions towards your goals and really committing to being the type of practitioner who attracts high caliber clients to your practice. We've covered a lot today, from mindset, energetics, video, messaging, functional blood chemistry analysis, legal stuff. Like, we were all over the board today, right? So I encourage you to take the strategies that we've discussed today, apply them to your life and practice. Start by defining who you want to be as a practitioner and setting intentions that are aligned with your values, right? And I also want to remind you that what you desire is 100% possible, because if I can do it, you can absolutely do it. And I just want to thank you all so much. Can you repeat what you said about being a PCP when we were at Bastyr? Oh, I was just saying that was like, no one told me I didn't have to be a primary care provider. Like I just, that was the option. You become a primary care provider. And it was just like, okay, I guess that's what we're doing. But I hated it. I totally hated it. Oh, thank you, Trisha. I love you too. Oh, so good. I'll if you guys do have questions, I'm happy to hang out for yeah, right. I hear you, baby. Yeah, it's so true. I'll try to answer some questions. I'll hang out for a couple more minutes. So much valuable information. Yay. I know Annette had some questions. Explain the difference between Dr. Weatherby's. So Dr. Weatherby's course is just for functional blood chemistry analysis, so just for the blood work. And FDN, so Reed Davis's training. To be totally honest, I got grandfathered or grandmothered into that program at the time because, again, it was like 5 years ago and I was overqualified for the program. So I paid a fee and I sort of got like an honorary certification from that program. I did go through some of the material. I didn't have to do any of the testing or anything. But it was pretty good. I personally, I didn't like the labs that they go over because I'm a functional lab snob. So I didn't use any of their labs. I didn't like those labs, but there was good information, some good resources around like just some basic like lifestyle enhancements and stuff like that. But yeah, it was pretty good. I hope that answers your question. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. Yes, I can feel you're passionate about this. Yes. I'm already a CLT certified leap therapist. Oh, amazing. I love the MRT. It's my favorite food sensitivity test. And I've had training on my, on the labs that they have in their program. Awesome. Cindy says, you're great. Thank you for taking the time to support and encourage us. Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. This is literally like my favorite thing to do. Carrie says, can you tell us more about your certificate program? Yeah, sure. So I'll pop it in. I appreciate you guys asking. This isn't like the only reason I host the summit, but if you guys are interested, it feels like a good fit, then amazing. I just popped it in the chat. So this is my mentorship program. It's called the WELLthy Academy. And it was recently updated, and you can choose to do the certification route or not. And if you already have a certification, some people do, so they don't do the certification route. Trisha is actually certified. She's here in the audience watching. She's been through my program and she's amazing. So with the certification option, you become a WELLthy certified practitioner. And so you get added to the directory on my website, just because I do get a lot of people who reach out to me wanting to find a practitioner. And so what we do inside of that to get the certificate to become a WELLthy certified practitioner, you go through my program. I go through 6 main functional labs. I go through the MRT, the GI map, the Dutch Plus, organic acids, functional blood chemistry analysis, and functional genomics. And I teach you how to actually create a comprehensive program and a comprehensive strategy with your clients and your patients around those labs, how to cross-reference them, how to create customized protocols that are really applicable in your practice. And so the certification entails doing like a case study and having an interview with me, just so I make sure that you understand the signature strategy that I've really put together that gets phenomenal results. So Trisha says, recommend Michelle's mentorship and certification 100%. Thank you, Trisha. That's so sweet of you. So yeah, to answer your question, Annette, does your program offer a certification to be a health coach? It's not a health coaching certification. You'd become a WELLthy certified practitioner. Yeah. Joanna says, how long does it take people to go through the certificate or the certification? It depends. So I just revamped the container of the mentorship. So I've been running this mentorship since 2019. And just this month, we launched the brand new container because I've taken all of the feedback that I've received over the years. Like I said, I've taken almost 100 practitioners through this program. And so I've taken feedback from like feedback forms, private messages, graduation calls, just our communication platform, everything, every piece of feedback that I've received. I've really tried to consolidate that and apply it to this new container. So the container now is a 12-month container. And however, in saying that, you get instant access to all of the material. So I used to have it dripped out, and it would be dripped out over the span of 6 months. And just with all the feedback that I've gotten, people really prefer to have all of the information at once, even though I still do recommend going through it in order. It's very important to do it in order. Just because it all builds on itself. It's very intentionally put together. So to answer your question, it could be as little as a few weeks to a few months. But if you're actually going to do a case study with a certification, it's probably going to take several months, because you're actually going to either go through it yourself and run all those labs on yourself, or do it with a client or a patient. So that period of time can take a little while to get all the labs, create the protocols and all of that, and then have that discussion. So hopefully that answers your question. Any other questions? Again, I'm happy to hang out for a few minutes if you guys want. Carrie says, does the WELL certified practitioner allow you to work as a consultant in a new virtual business as an unlicensed provider, or do you still need to have a coaching certificate? If you need another certificate, is there one that you recommend? It does cover it. So you get to be a WELL certified practitioner. So when you get your templates, your disclaimers, your client agreements and everything with Lisa sorted out, you actually can say, yes, this is my background. Carrie, I don't know, I forget what kind of practitioner you are exactly, but you could say like, yes, I have education in this. However, in this capacity, I'm operating as a WELL certified practitioner. And so that does protect you in that way. So yeah, so you wouldn't need any additional certification. Great question. Anything else? Any other questions? Will your training help us? What was the D for? Would you mind typing that again, Annette? Help us with the wording on differentiating. I think I understand what you're saying. Just differentiating, like when we're talking about words as far as like client versus patient and recommendations versus prescriptions and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we talk a lot about that. The wording specifically, a lot of that gets more specific when it comes to legal stuff, but I absolutely help you with that. And one of the amazing things, right, about being in a container is you get to show up to office hours. We have chat rooms, like different chat channels, so you can always ask questions. I have a couple support coaches who have gone through the program as well inside of the container. So there's always people to help you get more specific around like your specific wording, your messaging, your niche, your ideal client, your offer creation, all of that. So yeah, of course. Does your training include any business education tips? Yes. So it's the reason why I love this, my mentorship, is because it blends the clinical with the business. So we go over all the clinical stuff as far as like practice management, functional labs. Like I share all my protocols and everything that I've developed over the past 11 years. And then on the other side, we have all the business stuff. So we go over from start to scale. So really getting your business up and running, creating, like really dialing in your niche, like who it is that you want to serve, how you want to serve them, creating a really amazing signature offer, really talking about how to create like a signature high value one-on-one offer, but also a more scalable low to mid tier offer as well. We go through pricing, we go through sales, we go through social media, we go through scaling. So when you're ready to bring on some people to bring a team on, things like that. So all of the business stuff is also included as well. Yeah. Annette, how long do we have access? Is there a fee for ongoing support in the mentorship after the certification? Yeah, exactly. So it's a 12-month container. And then after that, we have ongoing month-to-month memberships that you can either sign on like month-to-month as an alumni, or you can sign on for an additional year. So yeah, there is a fee. It's much lower than it is to join your initial year. So yeah, we've got a lot of alumni joining us or rejoining us this next month, which is really fun. We have a phenomenal group. I think Trisha can speak to it, but just the community inside of the group is just like mind blowing. But again, it goes back to kind of what we were talking about earlier, right? It's like attracting those high caliber clients. So it's like I've done a lot of my own inner work, personal development, spiritual development, all of that. And so I attract a very specific type of practitioner. And so these practitioners end up in our container. And it's just like, it's like the most beautiful thing ever. Like I adore the practitioners who come into our group. Yeah. Any other questions? Anything else? Do you have a starting date? It's rolling enrollment. Yeah. 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 It's rolling enrollment. Yep. And you can choose to upgrade certification anytime. You don't have to like choose right away. Like you could do it, a few months in or after you graduate or whatever that is. So, yep. Rolling enrollment. Great questions. I love that you guys are curious. Trisha says, as a dietitian, I learned so much in the mentorship, but couldn't pass up hearing all the awesome speakers here this weekend. Totally. And Trisha, I think you heard about me, I think from the summit last year, right? Is that when we first met? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So cool. Like I love like a little full circle moment. Like Trisha found me back in the summit last year. We had a call. She joined the group. She graduated. She got certified and now she's here. So good. So good. Beautiful. Best decision getting on last year's summit. Oh, oh I love that. Oh, I'm so proud of you, Trisha. It's been a complete revolutionary like upgrade. Like, wow, like so cool. So cool to watch your evolution over the past year. All right. Thank you all. Take care. See you tomorrow.
All right, that's a wrap for today. If you want the exact breakdown of how I help practitioners go from their first 5K to consistent 50K months with just 2 offers, 10 hours per week, and an audience of less than 500 people, be sure to click the link in the podcast description or head to wealthywoman.co/breakdown. To make sure you don't miss an episode, be sure to subscribe. And for daily online practice insights, follow me on Instagram at wealthywoman.co. Let's create your life of wealth, full of abundance, purpose, health, wealth, and joy.